everybody, this is Lila in Hawaii. I'm struggling with a pincushion. I love projects, as you probably know, and today I thought I would make a pincushion, a tin can pincushion. This is an old-fashioned recipe or project. Goes back to my childhood. I know you can see them in all sorts of magazines and books, but you need a tuna can or a fish can of some sort, and this one's 3 inches in diameter and 1 inch deep. I've already scalded it, washed it, boiled it, sprayed it with varnish, done all sorts of things to remove the odor, and I put it outside in the sun for about a week as well. And I didn't use it for about a month so that I could smell it, and there's no smell. Then you need a foam ball, and the foam ball is going to be this part. So you take a foam ball, which I've got here, just lost it for a minute. Okay, so this is the foam ball. This is also a 3-inch ball, and you take a serrated knife and cut off about 1 inch all around to where it's flat, and it's going to sit flat. Then I glued it inside here, just glued it with some hot glue. Inside there, I've covered it, by the way, with a piece of batting and a piece of felt, just to give it a nice top. And I find that this is great for needles and pins. They stick in there beautifully, and it keeps them sharp. Then you need 2 pieces of fabric about 3 times in diameter, the size of the can, and then put 2 pieces together, a lining and an outer, right sides together, sew them around. Turn them inside out and slip stitch the opening closed. I used lattice stitch so it's invisible. Then after that, take a strong thread or cord and do a running stitch about 3/4 of an inch. This is going to be like a frill, and I do that all the way around, so that's about 3/4 of an inch all the way around, or 2 centimeters all the way around. The next thing is I'm going to do what I call sort of a dry run. I want to make sure that I have to stuff the edges of it, so I want to make sure that I've got everything sort of where I need it to be. And the easiest way I've found to do this is to put the can inside like that, and then I've got the stitching here, and I'm just going to pull it up, but not totally tight, but pull it up pretty good. And I'm doing a double knot. I find this is the easiest way. I find if you put the stuffing in first, it springs around and it's not easy to do. So the next thing to do is to stuff around so that this part is stuffed. And I like to use forceps. I'm a nurse, so I've got plenty of forceps. So there we go. So you can stuff that. You can also use your finger if your finger fits in there, or you can use the blade of a knife or scissors. And what you're going to do is stuff, just to fill in some, not completely, but fill in some of that ruffle there. Go around. I'm going to use hot glue for this. I'm not crazy about using hot glue, but I find that it's one of the quicker ways to work with something like this. So here we go again, and then around again. By the way, the only other thing you need is a 30-inch or half a yard piece, just over half a yard really. No, probably more than that. Probably a yard, I would say, of ribbon. And I've got seam binding. You can cut it to, length when you've done that. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do is even out the ruffles, but hide this. Hide the batting. Stuff it down in there. Hide it and go around. I go. Make sure it's on the outside of the can, not on the inside. You don't want the stuffing on the inside. It should be on the outside where the fabric and the outside of the can is. It's a bit tricky. Okay. Getting there. I've got a bit more to do on this side. Try and do it this way so you can see better maybe. I'm sort of just poking it down. It is rather tight because I pulled that thread up. Oh, goodness. This is the last piece and I'm not doing too well with it. So I'm trying to even out the ruffles a bit. See if I can make myself a little more room somewhere. There we go. Almost done. I don't know if you can hear the birds, but they're out there singing. It's nice and sunny, and it's been damp. It's been raining, so they like that. They like the dew on the leaves, or the rain on the leaves. I've got a huge kukui tree outside, and they love that. And we're so proud of it because a friend and I planted it. It's now about 30 feet high, and we planted it from one kukui nut seed. And kukui nuts are those nuts that they make some of the lei out of, which you may have seen. And it's now, this is the first year it's bearing fruit. It's just lovely. It hasn't got any, the kukui nuts, you have to get them sort of seasoned. They go dark brown, and there's a way you prepare them, and I'm not familiar with that too much. Haven't done that. Okay, so I'm getting there. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do at this point is going to just even out the flounce a bit. I think I've got as much stuffing as I can handle, but I do want to make sure that these frills are not too scrunched together, you know, in one place. Even it out. Just like you do any kind of gathering, really. You've got to play with it to get it just how you want it. Okay, I think that's just going to be it about that. Then after I've got it like that, I've got to make sure I've got the can sort of centered. Okay. Now, the next thing I need to do, and I don't want to do it on camera because I'll mess it up for sure, but the next thing I have to do is I have to add drops of glue just around the rim and glue this just in places to the rim. And as I say, I'm not going to do that on camera because I'm going to have to use hot glue, and it's just a mess. I'm a mess with it. I don't deal with hot glue, and I'll probably mess it up for sure. But anyway, I'm just trying to get this to where it looks good, and I do see there's a place here where I need to put in more stuffing, and in order to play with that, it's going to take me a while. Let's see here. Gosh, I can't even see where the edge of the can is. So I'm just giving you the idea. So I'm going to work on it some more because I do want this to be a little fuller in certain places, and I want to even that out. So after I've glued that to the rim, just in places, I'm then going to take my ribbon or seam binding, and I'm going to go right around here, and I'm going to have to glue it in places and go right around the circumference, and I'll tie it in a nice bow. But to make it stay because it's on a curve like that. It won't stay unless I put drops of glue here and there, so I'm not going to take time to do that, but I'm sure you get the idea. I'm going to cut that off for now. And then you've got really a cute little pincushion. And of course, if you want to, you could put some flowers on here. You could put some of those fancy these things, stick pins, I guess they're called. And see how easy your needles and threads go in there? It's just wonderful. So I'm going to fool around with this and make it a little more stuffed on the sides. But I hope that gave you an idea. And thank you for watching. They're easy and they're fun. And you can make them out of any size can. You can even make them out of those tall cans, almost like a soup can. They're nice, made out of those cans that have sardines, you know, those sort of oblong cans. Those are kind of funky. In fact, we had a little competition once in a group I belonged to, making those sardine can pincushions, and they were kind of fun. However, this is basically how it's going to look. And then, as I said, it's going to have the ribbon around there, but I'm going to have to dab bits of glue around to make that stay. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.